Hey punks, welcome back to University. Radlands 101. We're going to do a buyer's guide part 2 for today's lesson. One of the reasons we'll be doing this is that my part 1 video was cut a little bit short, so I'd want to finish what I was talking about there. And then I also had another person mention in some comments, some other places about sleeves. We're going to talk about that in this buyer's guide part 2. So since this is part 2, if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll link that in the description. Watch that first, and then we're going to continue on from there. So I was saying before, talking about the playmats. So they do come with the Super Deluxe Edition. That comes with the Deluxe Edition in the box, and then 2 players mats. But I also wanted to mention that on the Roxley website, you can order the playmat separate. So if you decide to buy the retail version or the deluxe version, don't fret. Down the road, you can go and buy the player mat separate, as I do think they add something to the game. You don't need them, but it is really handy to have the layouts for everything. So that's the first thing I wanted to address. The next thing is in my previous part 1 buyer's guide video, I talked about the sleeves not fitting very well in the box, at least the ones that I had. So I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more and go over some different options that you might have as a potential purchaser of sleeves. So I have maybe kind of a good to better to best here. And we're going to try and see if we can get these in the box. Now I have all of these as clear sleeves because why wouldn't you? The back of the card, the punk here, is part of the game. So I have okay sleeves here in the Sleeve Kings. They shuffle okay. They get the job done. Not overly expensive for sleeves, which is nice. In the previous video, I mentioned the Game Genic sleeves, clear sleeves. They shuffle pretty well. I have some Dragon Shield clears here. I know the box says black, but I borrowed these from a buddy, but I still wanted to show the Dragon Shield logo here in the video, and these sleeve pretty nice, and I like the matte finish. The other ones, the Game Genics have a look. They do come in a matte or a standard. These are the mattes, so they have a little bit of a texture. Definitely not near as much as the Dragon Shield, and then some Katana Ultimate Guard clear sleeves, and they also shuffle really well. But I'm sure there's plenty of videos to discuss the pros and cons of all these sleeves. We're here to see what's going to fit in your retail box, because as I mentioned before, you probably don't really need to sleeve the deluxe version. At least I don't know why you would. They're designed not to be. So we'll start with the Sleeve Kings here first. So let's try it. A little bit of a tight squeeze. I feel the box flexing a little bit, but the Sleeve Kings appear to fit in the box. Like I said, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, so I'd imagine over time either the box or the sleeves will adjust. So we'll put those back. The Game Genic, which I said really wouldn't fit before. I was trying this again, and again you can kind of fit them in there. You can see here the box does flex a little bit. Now obviously you could store them like this, but most people are probably going to want to store them this way. So again, a little bit of a tight squeeze seemed to fit. The Sleeve Kings might have fit maybe with a little less trying to shove them in there, it feels like to me. The Dragon Shields are known to be a little bit taller than most sleeves. I don't know if you could see that there, the difference in the depth of how much further those stick over the card. These are the tightest squeeze, so I don't know if you're using the Dragon Shield clears. I don't know if you'd want to risk warping the top edge of your sleeves there. And then the last would be the katanas. They fit the card really well. I sometimes worry about with the katanas, the cards even sticking out sometimes, so I've always got to constantly kind of jiggle the cards down. But again, these also seem to fit in the box. A little bit of finagling there. Again, I'd be worried about forcing the sleeves in this, what that's going to do to your sleeves over time, because I know the point is to protect the cards, but if you've always got to go through sleeves, then what's the point of having the sleeves on there? So the other thing about also sleeving your cards is they're going to get a little bit thicker. So I just wanted to show you what a full set of the Sleeve Kings kind of looked like. So before, when you open this box, you had the camp and your information cards on one side and then your people on the other, people and events. Well, your people and event deck doesn't completely fit. So you've actually got to split that up, and that's fine. But sometimes when you're playing the game, it's easier to pull out your one set of cards and not have to separate everything. So that might be a minor complaint of trying to sleeve. But the Sleeve Kings do seem to fit completely in the box. You can throw in your tokens. With the cost of those sleeves, I wouldn't be worried as much about over time having to replace them. The other great thing about the Sleeve Kings is you get 110 sleeves, where everything else I've listed here is either 50 or just 100. Now, why does the extra 10 sleeves matter? Because you get 6 extra cards over 100. So the draw deck of events and people in your camp decks are 100 cards exactly. So if you want to sleeve your Water Silo and Raiders and then your help cards, having the extra 10 sleeves helps. So that's the Buyer's Guide, Part 2. I do hope maybe that helps and kind of cleared things up about what I meant before of how, sleeving your cards, you obviously you can make it work. It's a tight fit, but it does work. So here's a few different options for you to think and mull over. And as always, stay thirsty, punks.